Hello, today we are going to be setting up my Leuchtturm weekly planner with my planner layout that I do every single week. So last time I filmed one of these, I messed up my own layout, and so this is redemption. This is take two, this is redemption. I did not mess it up this time. I am recording this voiceover after I've already filmed everything, and I did not make any mistakes, so we are all good. This is actually the layout that I filmed last time that I messed up. So as you can see, that column goes all the way to the edge, which is not how it's meant to be. And so the other columns were the wrong width in the end. I do, however, do my layouts differently now. I used to do them so that it was one column that would just keep going depending on how long each day was. Now I do it so it's Monday to Friday up the top and then Saturday and Sunday down the bottom. So there is like a set length for each day, and that way I can fill it in and I can actually like write down what my to-dos for each day are, and it's working a lot better. So yeah, I'm not just doing this for redemption, it is also an updated layout, and it's just a better layout. So first up, this is Willy the Worm. He is our newest washi stand in the shop and is very, very popular at the moment. And these are the washi tapes that I am using for this spread. So I'm using our Soot Candy in a new green variation, as well as a 5mm stars. Both of those are coming out on Thursday. And then this is a ruler that is also coming out on Thursday. It is the 20cm ruler, so it is suited for A5 planners. And then we have my pens, which have not really changed since the last time I did this video, I think. I'm still using a grey pen to do the columns, and then I am using my TWSBI Eco in extra fine for the main writing. And then I am still using Tombow brush markers for my main like colored bits on the spread. Sometimes I will use mild liners, but typically I prefer to use Tombows. So I've just picked two colors that suit the washi tapes. So I just went with a green and a light gray just because I thought that they would match kind of nicely and not take away from the soots too much. And then I just get a gel pen, and I have a lot of colors as you can see, and I've just gone with a dark green because I think that it contrasts the best on top of this specific Tombow marker. And then obviously I also use the grey on top of the light grey Tombow. And I will also be using the light grey for the column lines that I am drawing with this ruler. So I've obviously sped this up because it is a little bit boring, but essentially I just leave a space, like one column of dots from the outside of the page. Then I will draw a line, and then I will count 8 squares and then do the next line. So each column is 8 squares or 8 dots? No, 8 squares. 8 squares wide, and this just leaves 3 even columns on each side of the page. My only complaint about this pen is that it does tend to skip. It like will skip and do like little chunky parts that you can see sometimes. You can see it in the top of the line closest to the center on the left page. And I also accidentally made it skip on the right side, and I had to redraw that line. But it's really annoying. I have to like wipe the nib down before I use it, and that does help, but otherwise, yeah, it does get very, very like chunky little gel bits. So I'm trying to find a better pen, but I might also just switch to a pencil because I guess, you know, a pencil is also grey. Anyway, so then I move on to the June writing, which I will always do in one of the Tombow markers, and then I will alternate to the other color to do the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I will sometimes use a third color to do the little line that goes around it where I will put each of the numbers of the week, but this time I just went back to the light gray. And then I will grab my fountain pen and I will write the dates of the week. And this is all that I use my fountain pen for in this setup, but I do all of my black writing in this fountain pen in this planner. And then we move on to the washi tape. I will always tear off the start of the washi tape if I've used a washi cutter previously, so it's got a straight edge, just because I like these spreads to have like a rough torn look to the washi tape. So I will put washi tape up the top of the column. I will also put it down at the bottom of the column, and then I will put it on the right hand side as well. I find that this is a really good way to use up your washi tape as well. So I try to use like a different washi tape every single week, but I also try to mix and match washi tapes that I wouldn't have like thought would go together. So the other week I did like a blue and a purple spread, and I think it's really fun to do that and a really good way to use up the washi that you have. It's also a really fun way to mix and match your Tombow markers, try to find like some colors that you wouldn't usually use. But anyway, enough yapping about that and back to the actual spread. I then go back to my light grey Tombow and I set up the this week section. So this is the header that I do. I will always do a Tombow and then I will do the gel pen over the top, and then I will use my fountain pen below it to do each of the dot points, but I didn't fill that in here. It is then time to grab stickers, and I always put a habit tracker in my this week column. I used to only do one, but now I do two. I do one for my hair care and one for journaling for 10 minutes each day. Then it is my favorite part of the habit tracker, and it is getting a little squish sticker to put on the hair care one. I always pick one of my shower squishes. This time I've gone with the little one where he's like blow drying his like one single hair. It's very, very cute, and it's definitely my favorite from the sheet. But yeah, then I will go in with the gel pens again and I will fill in the habit trackers. Then it is on to the last bit for the spread, which is grabbing my Tombow again and filling in the little top date sections. So I will go across and do a little circle. This is where I write the actual date. And then the Saturday and Sunday I will try and line up from the previous page just so I don't have to count the dots. When there is a darker color on the week before, it makes it easier. But yeah, then I put the little line where I write like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I do a double line across Saturday and Sunday because it goes across both columns. I did mess up that top one, the top Monday one, just I did it a bit too thick, but it doesn't matter, no one will notice. And then I go back in and I write the date numbers. I did those with gray, and then I write Monday through Sunday with the green pen. I do also write continued on Saturday and Sunday, but you know, you don't really have to do that. And then there is the final column that will have one more little line, like this one right here. But I usually just fill that in once I've finished Friday, because Friday will not always be the same length. So my little writing section will just depend on how busy or not busy my Friday was. I also take note of what number my Tombow marker is, just so I don't accidentally do the wrong color on the line, because I have done that before and it's very annoying. But yeah, that is the spread finished. I obviously just have to go in and add all of my to-dos in for the week. But hopefully you found that interesting. Hopefully it is helpful if you also use a dot grid. And just another little shameless plug of my rulers that I am launching on Thursday. This is, as I mentioned at the start, the 20 centimeter ruler, but I also have a 15 centimeter. But yeah, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. If you end up using this layout yourself, please let me know. But otherwise, have a great week, and I will see you in another video. Goodbye.